You know, I see this a lot. Like, people are obsessed with talking about why fighting games don't do well or do well. And one thing I see a lot is people post the numbers. They're like, look, when Strive came out, it had 30,000 active players, and now it only has 3,000 a day. Like, how could this happen? And I always find that topic really interesting because that happens in everything. I don't know if, like, fighting game fans, I constantly question if they play literally any other genre or think about any other genre ever. But that happens to every video game. You look at when Call of Duty comes out and, like, the numbers are, like, absurd, whatever it is. They play it for a few weeks, people get sick of it, and it drops down. What people do is they buy it, and they play it, and they do all the single player stuff, and they play a little bit. Maybe they dabble with online. They might not even play it online. And then they're like, cool, that was neat. I had a good time. I punched some people up. Okay, I'm out of here. That is a very normal pipeline for players. The people that stick around and play the genre long term are the exception. People who play the game for thousands and thousands of hours and like want mastery of it is the small percentage of players for every single genre. And as far as games that like have their release and then like they dip and then they come back up to that number or even pass it, those things happen, but it's usually games that have supported content for a long time and they really are standout in the genre. Like maybe Rainbow Six Siege, it kind of had like a weird launch and then it slowly built up over time and like people enjoyed the game more and more and more. That is like not usual. And when the League fighting game comes out, it will not have the player base numbers of like League of Legends. It's not going to have probably even their Valorant or like maybe some of the other genres that are more popular than fighting game numbers, right? And that's normal. I think focusing on the numbers is very strange. But if you're going to be obsessed with the numbers, you should at least contextualize that every game has drop off. I don't know why people like fighting game fans are so, they think it's unique, but I think they're unique. As long as your game has enough players to support the matchmaking at all skill levels, it's not really a problem. The double lift thing, yeah, this is really big on our fighters, and I love it because no fighting game player like knows who he is in the comments of this. So if you guys don't know who double lift is, he's a League of Legends pro player, former pro player, I guess now, right? And he's played for like many teams in NA, and usually always is like one of the best players in North America, and his team usually makes it to Worlds, which you know what happens when NA makes it to Worlds. But he likes Street Fighter 4 a lot. He does not like Street Fighter 5, and he used to play the game all the time. So obviously he's like a prime example of someone who would like the new Riot fighting game probably. So he watched this video and like his reaction to this is so funny because everybody on our fighters is like, who is this clown with the bowl cut? This guy's whack. Them all like not even knowing who he is and just flaming him. It's like so tight. I'll let you guys listen to it.
Building a game where new players have a chance to beat the pros. It's about unlocking the fun at all skill levels.
I agree with that. That's one of the first things that I love to hear. You want to make a fucking game that hardcore players want to play, then make the game accessible for casual players. Make the game fun for noobs. If the game is not fun for noobs, you just only have sweaty fucking neck-bearded people arguing over the semantic little details of the game, and no one gives a shit and plays the game. It's only cool to be good at a game if it's popular. That's my opinion. I don't care to be good at fucking like random 1,000, 2,000 concurrent player games. I want to play popular games and I want to be good at them and I want to be a part of a big community of people. I think it's really, really important that they make fighting games accessible.
Him saying a bunch of sweaty neckbeards will like play the game and like really care about it is tight because I'm like, that's me. That's us. We are all these. I mean, he's a pro player. He's the sweatiest of sweaty neckbeards, you know. I love though the idea that like I don't care to be good at some 1,000 or 2,000 population like player game. I want to be good at a popular game because that has never in my life occurred to me. I've never in a moment thought to myself, I have to get good at a game that's popular. And like this is not an uncommon take, right? I mean, even amongst fighting games, especially in the Street Fighter 4 era, there was so many people who are like, if you're not good at Street Fighter 4, like you're not good at fighting games. Street Fighter 4 is the hard fighting game that all the players play if they're good. And if you don't play this game and you're not good at it, you're actually not a good fighting game player. Who gives a fuck? Oh, Nii is winning in Tekken. Never heard of him. He doesn't play Street Fighter. He's not a good fighting game player. That is like that, not an uncommon opinion. I couldn't disagree more. I don't care if the game is popular or not. That has no bearing about whether, to me, the game is interesting to delve into in a competitive, serious nature. If the game is cool and you enjoy it and it has things that make you want to play it for thousands of hours, then that's tight. A great example of this is like he liked Street Fighter 4 a lot, right? Street Fighter 5 is more popular than Street Fighter 4. Everybody moved on is playing the new game. And so if you still like Street Fighter 4 more than Street Fighter 5, it's like, well, I hate to break it to you. Street Fighter 4 is less popular. And more people play Street Fighter 5 than Street Fighter 4. So this game is more competitive, and being good at Street Fighter 5 is better than being good at Street Fighter 4 because it's more popular. And also Brawlhalla has more players than like all fighting games combined. So Brawlhalla is the biggest fighting game. But Fortnite has more players than that. So Fortnite is the biggest, most competitive. You know, I think getting caught up in the numbers, it's a dangerous slope. However, the most important takeaway from all of this is that you do want a game where there is something long-term for there to be mastery of. Simultaneously, you want people to be able to pick up the game and play and enjoy it, right? Like, that's cool. And building a game that does both seems like a nightmare. I don't think anybody ever thinks to themselves, I want my fighting game to be dog shit for players that really care about fighting games. Or I want my fighting game to only be for people that are brand new, or only be for people that are like experienced gamers or whatever, right? Like, could you imagine a developer just saying, we've made a game and all you new players are fucked, you're gonna hate it? Like, they're not, even if they didn't make it for new players, they're not gonna say that. Like, making that style of game though is quite hard. Fighting games are not an easy genre to get into, even in the most easiest of games, right? Like, they have the same learning curve that many other games have. And it's the same way, like, when you play an easy shooter that's supposed to be easy to kill people in, like, that is shit's fucking hard. Yeah, League of Legends is the same way too. I think there's no literally negative perspective here if you're just like, but what about X game? Like, yes, that game is probably hard to get into. So are most fighting games for people who are new to the genre. You guys know who Filipino Man is? He's like gotten 9th at Evo like 7 times in Street Fighter. He's very good. He played Rainbow Six Siege. His kill death ratio was 0.3. He like didn't know that guns have recoil in shooting games, right? He doesn't know how to play shooting games. He's never played one. So he hops in and is like, wait, when you shoot the gun, it goes up. And it's like, oh, you have to pull down to account for recoil. He's like, what? So when people say things to me like, shooting games are really easy, you just jump in and you shoot, like it's so easy. Like, I don't know, everybody knows how to play a shooting game. No. I watched my uncle try and learn how to play a shooting game, and he could not move and aim at the same time. Like, that idea to him on a controller was so foreign that he had to move, stop moving, and then aim with the other hand. Eris can't do that either. Why? Yeah, when I said older people in my life, it's included in that list of people. Okay? So that's what I'm saying here. You have played shooting games growing up, right? So you know how to play a shooting game. You have played these genres since you were young. Even when it comes to tutorials and stuff, people say fighting games are only hard because the tutorials are bad. Have you played the tutorials for League of Legends? The tutorials are also all bad, okay? I played the tutorial in like basically every competitive game I've ever played, and they always suck. I have always said that I think that getting good at fighting games pretty similar to getting good at any other competitive game. It's like a very similar thing. If you can get good at one, you can get good at some others too, if you're interested in doing it. If you know how to learn and teach yourself things, you can get good at anything you want. Or conversely, if you're just a degen grinder, you can probably do that too. That's what my favorite part about this is. So many fighting game players are like, I don't know who this sweaty nerd is in this video, but he's wrong. I'm like, you know, it is a normal opinion that a lot of people hold. I don't agree at all. I don't care. I would rather find the game that you care to master and play that than ever worry about popularity being an issue for the game you like. Having more people to play with and share it with and talk about it with, etc., is great. But I think it doesn't impact how much I care to get good at a game at all. It could just be me and Last Cody stuck playing Plus R until the end of time, and I'd be like, I'm not gonna get insta-killed today. Listen. Smash players love saying you won, but not in a way that's good or cool, so you're whack. I can't believe the game lets you win like this. You're saying that their play is so dog shit, and the game allowing their dog shit play to win is a fault of them and the game. That's pretty beast. Can you imagine like how much your neck must hurt to wrap it around like your whole goddamn body into your ass like that?